Okay.
Brenda, welcome to the program. How did you get into theater?
Well, I actually am an English major, and I taught English. I taught in a tiny town up in North Dakota, 7th through 12th grade English. And it is also your job to put on plays.
As an English teacher?
As an English teacher, because the school was so small.
Really? So why English?
I don't know why. They just picked on the English teacher.
Well, I meant, like, how did you get into English?
Oh, how did I get into English?
Yeah, why English, yeah.
Because I'm a writer.
Okay.
Yeah.
You always wanted to, ever since you were small?
Always wrote poems and stories and always wanted to be a writer.
Any particular kind of story you wanted to tell?
Drama.
Really?
Dramatic, yes.
Yours was drama? So what were your favorite shows when you were young?
Well, my favorite TV shows, we only had 2 channels.
Well.
I'm actually related to Lawrence Welk. Can you believe that? So we would watch the Lawrence Welk show every Saturday night.
Of course.
And I guess as I got older, my favorite show was the Brady Bunch.
Okay, you're a Brady Bunch fan? Did you know there's a Brady Bunch stage show?
No.
Yeah, there is. I think it's
awesome.
Schwartz. However, he's very particular who he lets do it. He's very protective of it. I mean, I think he did it primarily just for his family. But people have done it. Yeah, but you've got to get on his good side because he's not just going to let anyone do it. I mean, you have to have the right.
Nice to be that.
So maybe you're the person. Maybe you're the person to do it. So we really want to put this on here. Would you mind? We'll do a good job.
Yeah.
Lawrence Welk and the Brady Bunch. Okay, well. So how are you related to Lawrence Welk?
Well, I grew up in North Dakota, and my grandmother was we're a very short tail. Yeah. It's not, it's not like, he was my great uncle or something like that. But we have the Welks in our family line. Yeah.
That's
Germans.
Wild.
Yep.
Wow. Yeah. So, what made you leave North Dakota?
Oh my gosh, what made me stay? Why would I stay? 600,000 people in the whole state.
That's wild. Oh my goodness.
I grew up on a farm 20 miles from the nearest town, and I couldn't wait to get out and just...
Really?
Yes. Yeah. I wanted to move to Colorado.
You're not really a farm girl. No.
I grew up milking cows every morning.
Really? Early start.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. So you wanted to do drama.
Yes.
And did you get encouraged to do that when you were in school? Or?
Oh, yes. Yeah. We didn't have a lot. We had like just one of those portable stages that they set up. Right. And you just threw up some flats and things like that. But I always enjoyed it. And when I went to college, I wanted to major in music because I'm a musician.
Right.
I sing and play. And my counselor said, "Why do you want to do that? You already know how to do that. Do something different." And she's the one who talked me into being an English major with a drama minor and a speech minor.
Wow. Even though you wanted to play. What did you play?
I play piano and guitar and, of course, the accordion.
Well, of course, yeah. Because at least it's portable. The piano doesn't travel exactly, but the accordion. Well, that's cool. So you played professionally, right? Yes. You played around? So what do you do? What kind of music and
play, right now I play with 2 other people, David McHenry and Don Pope. He's a saxophone player. And we play for private parties mostly. Right. And because I didn't want to be committed to anything.
Sure.
And so we do a lot of private parties up at Corinthian Point, and we've played at Papados. I used to play at Giovanni's.
You played at Giovanni's?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
For years. I bet I started there in 2001.
Wow.
And played there for 7 straight years.
Is there a certain night, like Friday night, Saturday night?
It used to be Saturday nights, Friday and Saturday nights.
Okay.
And before he added on, I actually was right in the midst of all the people that ate. Right. And just sat and played and sang.
Yeah. So what is it about playing live that, it's different from, say, just playing, say, classical music or playing for, like what do you call this? Not auditions, but, you build up a skill, be able to know what the people like, how do they respond, requests,
I would walk around on my breaks and say hi to people and say, do you want to hear anything special? Right. But I like to play songs that are just real slow, kind of easy listening type music. So
did it ever bother you that people are doing their own thing?
No. Really? I'd rather have that than staring at me.
Well, because musicians, I guess they get used to that. the big competition, especially these days, is the television that's in the sports bar or whatever it is. And so when people are focused on you, sometimes the musicians get kind of spooked. You know?
Exactly.
They come to the Crighton and they play and they're like, everybody's watching me.
Right. Yeah. I want them to listen and appreciate what I'm doing. I don't want them to just stare.
Right.
Yeah.
That's wild. All right, so back to that. You're really a musician, but that's not what you got your degree in.
Right.
You got it in English. And so what was your first job after college?
I taught 7th through 12th grade English in Grenora, North Dakota.
Still in North Dakota?
Yes, which is just a little town not too far from Williston. You've probably heard of Williston.
No, but that's okay. I'll look it up on Google.
You will someday.
Google.
Anyway, and I was in a band on the weekends. I was in a country band.
Yeah.
Yes, it was called Black Diamond, and I had a blast because I was young. And I started in 1983, and I did that, and I also had the paper, and they had a small library, so I was the librarian too. I was a very multitasking person.
Well, it's good. I mean, there's always something to do.
I did that for a couple of years, and then I moved to Denver because I wanted so badly to move away.
So when did you move to Denver?
In 85.
Did they have that complex that they have now? They have this huge complex where it's multiple venues. You can eat there. You can park there.
Yes,
you can.
It starts with a T. The T.
We'll look it up. Yeah,
but
nice place.
Yeah, I moved down there just had no job, nothing, and I knew some people, and I got a job in one of the brokers. I don't know if you're familiar with the brokers. They're restaurants.
Okay.
Very nice piano bar restaurants. Yeah. I got a job singing in one for $45 a night. I thought I'd hit pay dirt. Plus tips. I was like, ah!
Whoa.
So
no, it's a nice place. In fact, we used to have a lot of friends that were in acting in Dallas, which they claimed didn't treat you right, and would go to Denver, and they just loved it.
I love Denver.
Oh, love Denver.
That was my dream to live there, and I actually lived there for 10 years, and my husband's actually from North Dakota too.
Right.
And he came down after me.
Oh,
he chased me down.
Yeah.
And we got married, and then we moved to Miami.
Okay. So you love Denver, but we're going to Miami.
Well, we moved to Miami because he was trying to. He wanted to be a pilot.
Okay. Yeah.
And so, in order to get your hours, you had to go someplace where you could fly.
Right.
And so we moved to Miami. And he flew like toothpaste and stuff to the Bahamas is what he did for free, just to get those hours. And then we moved to. This is a ridiculous story. You sure you want to hear this?
Sure. Yeah. You're in Miami. He's tied to fly. But what are you doing?
We lived there a year. I actually we had gotten married, and I actually was having my first child.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I stayed at home, and after a year passed, we moved to Billings, Montana.
Okay, you're moving around here, around the map here. Okay.
So we spent a little time in Billings, and from Billings, he actually had gotten on with Big Sky Airlines there, and then we moved back to Denver because he got on with Continental.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got to go back to Denver.
You got to be with the old Continental, actually. Is that before?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, old Continental.
I'm trying to remember because there was a time when Continental needed to reinvent itself. You remember that time? And then
Lorenzo?
they became, and so they reinvented themselves and then became one of the top, airlines. But before it was like, oh, Continental, what do you want to fly? But
right.
Yeah, they really did. I actually remember Continental flight going into Denver, the old airport. It's at Stapleton.
Yes.
And they had to come in at a really steep angle. Boy, that really did things to your stomach.
Oh gosh, yeah. My husband actually flew for
Express or whatever that.
Yeah, Express.
Yeah, okay.
And
Express,
he would fly into Telluride. Have you ever been? To
No,
Telluride?
I haven't been to Telluride. No.
That's like
that's like that too?
Yeah, it's It's way worse.
Really? Worse than
way
Stapleton
worse.
Was? Oh man.
Yeah. You
can tell I'm kind of squeamish.
There's hardly a runway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
But then the really interesting thing about our lives together is he got on with Continental Micronesia. So we moved to Guam.
Whoa.
For a year.
Yeah.
And so we were in Guam, and I loved it.
You like Guam, really?
I did. I loved Guam. It was so unique, and talk about, God. I tell you what, there you get very, very close in your spiritual walk, because think about it, you're out in the middle of
nowhere.
Right.
And
it's not protected by anything.
Right.
And there's tsunamis and...
Really? Did you have tsunamis?
No. But, there's always that threat of it.
Yeah.
And so we got to travel a lot because he flew down to, like, Australia.
Sure.
And we went to Australia, and we got to go to Manila and all kinds of different places where we lived.
So what do you think of Australia?
I love that.
Right?
Yeah.
They like the Americans. They seem to be pretty friendly.
Very much. Just talk different.
Did you find their sense of humor kind of strange? Everyone has their own, sense of humor. They have an interesting sense of humor.
I guess I don't really remember. We were so fascinated by just the animals and
really, yes.
We went to some farm there where the girls got to hold a koala bear.
They got to hold a koala bear?
Yes, you had to wear gloves.
Oh, man.
And you had to be protected, but they got to hold a koala, and they got to kind of dance with the kangaroo. And
I want to see video of that.
Yeah, I have pictures. I don't think I have video, but yeah, it was really interesting. And then we moved back to Florida. We moved to Tallahassee for a very, very short time. And then my husband was furloughed. This is crazy. I know, I have a crazy life. We, my dad had bought a donut shop back in North Dakota.
Right.
And it was in a Walmart store. It was like a kiosk, and he was making money hand over fist.
In a Walmart? Are you kidding?
In a Walmart. And Dan said, well, I'm just going to take the furlough. He goes, how do you feel about going back to North Dakota for a while? So we bought one of those kiosks and moved it to Bismarck.
Right.
And we survived for a year making tons of money selling donuts.
Right.
It was crazy. And then,
what is it about donuts? I guess it's fried.
They're fried dough,
sugar. I mean, how could you go wrong, right?
Exactly.
No, I think about these. Like, how do these places make money?
Yeah.
But when you go there, the's always somebody buying donuts.
We would go to the bank with shoe boxes full of cash.
Yeah.
Because it was like $2 or $4. I can't remember what we charged, but it's all dollar bills.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you made tons of money, but in terms of being fulfilling, did you care at that time or no?
Hard work.
Oh, it is hard work. Yeah.
But it's you do what you have to survive.
Sure, absolutely.
And so we were just barely, we were just surviving. And then when he got called back, we spent about 6 months in Hawaii, and then we moved back to Denver.
Hawaii, tough duty. So what do you think?
Yeah, that was nice.
Did you go around to different islands when you were in Hawaii?
No, we were broke. We were pretty poor, so it was.
So wait, you made all this money.
I know.
You made all this money with.
Well, we survived.
Right.
You basically survived.
Right.
When we got to Hawaii, you have 2 children, and I was homeschooling because I'm not going to send them to school.
Really? You did homeschooling?
Yes, I did.
So how did you always think about the homeschool? You weren't homeschooled, right?
No, it was out of necessity.
Right.
Because it was just too of a it was just an erratic lifestyle we were leading. So I just had to, and they were at that age where they had to go to school.
Right.
So I homeschooled for a while, and then we got the opportunity to move to Houston, and I went, oh my gosh, please, just a home. My kids wanted a van, a dog, and a house.
Not asking too much. Yeah.
They're tired of living in hotels, going to the beach every day.
Oh, that got old? Oh, gee. Yeah. Oh.
They wanted to live normal lives.
I don't want to go to the beach every day. I can't imagine a kid saying that.
So we've been in this area since about 1999, I guess.
Really?
Yeah.
99. So that would be about... Yeah, oil industry wasn't doing that great at that time that I recall. So I don't know how Houston was doing, because Houston did have a few housing crashes.
Yeah.
As other places did. Dallas did it as well, too. But I know Houston, that was particularly bad. So 99. So you got here. What did you start doing when you got to Houston?
When we got here, I actually got a teaching job in the Woodlands at Wilkerson.
Okay.
And I taught a couple of years there and kind of did drama stuff there. Not a lot.
Right.
But a little bit. And then we moved to Bentwater.
Right.
And it was too far to. I thought it was too far.
Right. It is pretty far. Yes.
So I applied for a job here, and and they were going to hire me at the 6th grade campus as an English teacher. But she saw that I had drama background.
Yes.
And she said, "Oh, you're not going to believe this, but the drama teacher just quit at the junior high."
Wow.
And she said, "Would you be interested in that?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess so."
Those are hard to come by.
They are hard to come by.
Because anybody has like a theater degree, I mean, they want those spots.
Yeah.
Right?
And so I was there for 13 years.
Wow.
And that's where I really developed and grew and became, thought, why didn't I teach this all along?
Wow. So in all these travels, were you writing? I mean, because you said that was your passion. You wanted to write?
And writing. And
composing. I mean, you become a different... Right.
Yes. And in Guam, I actually taught school. I taught kindergarten. Yeah. I went, no, never again.
Really?
I'm not a kindergarten teacher. But they needed one, and I spoke English. It was like, yes. Oh dear. Anyway, so I taught there, and I subbed and things like that. So I kind of kept up my certificate, my teaching certificate. But I've enjoyed theater a lot.
So,
but it was never my first intention.
That was not your first intention. So, what do you find that you need to do with the junior high kids when you do the theater? Do you do theater games? Do you do, I mean, what do you get? Yes.
I'm very into theater games and into bonding and becoming a family, trusting. And that way they can get out on stage and be that character because they're not afraid someone's going to laugh at them. Right.
Well, that's interesting, because we've heard, and it's not just necessarily the Woodlands, but I know we've done it when we were in Plano. You can run into theater teachers that, I guess they have the power kick or something. I'm not sure what it is. Real control kind of freak. Because, you sound like you were trying to make a nice safe space for your actors, which is what you're supposed to do.
Right.
But you'd be surprised at how many people don't do that.
Right.
In a high school setting or junior. I was shocked. I would hear these horror stories from different, the things that the theater teachers would do to their kids. I'm like, what the heck is
I look at myself more as a coach, not a dictator. Or, or to help them. I'm there to help them, not to boss them around, tell them what to do.
Sure. Yeah.
So, and I love teaching. My husband was the one who really wanted me to stop. Just because we're at that age where he wants to spend more time and travel. Yes.
So the fact that you've moved around all these places, that's different. Yeah.
It's different because, now he's making a decent living.
Right.
So he wants to go enjoy it.
It's a different style. You're not working.
Style. Yes.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Do you want to stay in this area for a long time, or do you have other places that you look at and go like?
My daughters live here, so wherever they live, I want to live.
Yes.
We're very, very close.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what do they're not into theater, or what do they do?
Angie dabbled in it some. She actually played Truvy in Steel Magnolias.
Yes. Yeah.
But she's not really into that. She's more into politics. She's a little,
Oh dear.
She's a little young Republican.
Is it all of Texas mostly?
Oh, yes, there you go.
So where would you like to travel to?
I would love to go to Belize. I just would love to go see Belize.
What's in Belize?
I don't know. I just have always heard people talking about it and how beautiful it is. But I really want to also go over to Europe. I got to go to Paris, or I got to go to Amsterdam in October. And I loved traveling by train and going to different places and seeing things. So, and that was my second time in Europe. But not for an extended period of time.
Right.
So I would like to see Europe. I would go back to Australia, definitely. Just, I guess, back home to see my parents.
Sure.
I'm lucky enough that they're still alive.
Right.
But they're 80. And Dan's mom is 93.
Yeah, so. It's that time where they're starting to become the kids again, and then you becoming the parent. So it's sad. It's sad. Writing. So it sounded like you started out. You wanted to be the writer. You did keep up with the writing and composing. Do you do it more for therapy now, or is it
No, I actually have a book of monologues.
Yes.
That I would like to try to get published. And it's all geared towards junior high kids because there's monologues out there, but they're either too kiddish, or they're too adult, and too long, sometimes. So, and I've searched books, I've looked and looked. I finally just started writing all my own and letting my kids perform them. And I went, this is crazy. This needs to be compiled and sold because this is sellable stuff. And they loved it and they enjoyed it. And we would do nights of monologues or duet scenes also. And I wrote all the duet scenes they did and performed. I've written drug-free plays that have been, not to pat myself on the back, but pretty outstanding. And the entire school would come to see them. And I feel like there weren't any drug-free plays out there.
There weren't. That? Really?
None.
It's probably the opposite. It's probably the opposite.
Because schools have Red Ribbon Week, and they asked us to put on skits or plays. Well, I looked and searched. There wasn't anything.
Nothing appropriate, or nothing that you liked, or nothing that you liked.
Or nothing that was appropriate for junior high kids to perform.
Wow.
So I've written at least 5 really pretty good ones.
So are you started looking into the whole publication process and how?
Yes, and it's very new to me. So because I've never really looked into publishing anything.
Really? Well, there's actually quite a bit of writers in the group here.
Yes.
And I know Marcia, who did the playbill. She's into writing. Tom Lockhart, who came to the second night of the show, he's into writing. Works at United. I keep saying Continental.
Yeah, no, it's United. No.
But there are a lot of writers, and we've talked about. They said, can we have a space to kind of get together?
That would
and I said,
great.
I'd love to give you a space, but what are you guys going to do? I mean, not that I really care.
Probably connect.
Well, yeah, but talk. I mean, but he says. What is it? Is it just to support each other? Is it techniques, or is it about like how do I get this thing published, or how do I go out there do the PR for the I just what is it that you want to do?
You want to share,
and not because I'm trying to make it. I'm never trying to get any money out of it. Absolutely not. It's just we want to be helpful. But if you're just going to meet for the sake of meeting,
meet in someone's house.
Well, yeah. I mean, but if you if there's some purpose, you said, do you guys really want to publish, or is it just a dream? There's nothing wrong with it just being the dream, but if you really want to publish, it's tough. I mean, in some ways, it's very easy now, right? You could just put a PDF copy online. Oh, okay, there it is.
And that's what I'm wondering.
Yeah, but then is that what you really want, or do you really want to go do the book tour? And then have somebody push your book on. We're going to take 10% of your, books. And I still hear that even though they take a percentage of your profits, they don't really do much for you. You have to self-promote. A lot of self-promotion, which is true of a lot of things we do, right?
Well, I think you'd almost have to still connect with that with the education society, and maybe go to like theater conventions and things like that, and set up your kiosk.
Sure.
See, all that donut stuff's going to come in handy.
That's right. You put a few donuts out there, they'll come your way. Hey, what'd you buy this book?
And maybe even have a student performing.
Yes.
While they're walking through, looking at all of the kiosks.
Yeah.
And stop by and buy your book.
You might be doing a lot of traveling when you do this book publish in business.
So, anyway.
So what things would you like to do that you haven't done yet?
You mean in general? Or
anything. Theater.
Oh.
It can be theater. It can be, like I said, it sounded like you were more the director, but have you gotten on stage and do stuff?
I did in college.
Yes.
I was, I think I had emailed you that information. I was in Godspell.
Okay. Yeah.
And, at the time, you're just kind of going through the motions, and you're just, this is fun. I'm in college. I'm in a musical.
Right.
But there's something about that musical that I have to say changed my life.
Really?
Yeah.
The doing of it?
The doing it. Well, the hearing of
it. The hearing of it. Really?
You're hearing the word.
Yes.
And, I grew up Catholic.
Right.
But that, nothing against Catholicism, because I love my parents and they're Catholic. But there's some, and this is true for any religion, you can go through the motions.
Most people do, yes.
And not really know what it means.
Right.
And I feel like that was all divine intervention that happened.
I think it's true for most kids, well, myself included, right? To pretty much till you leave your home, it's your parents' religion. You do it because they want you to do it, and that's fine. And a lot of people go through the motions and perfectly fine. And then after you get out, or go to college or whatever, then it has to become your own. Right. Otherwise, it's so yeah. So that's interesting. Yeah. So Godspell was that changed this for you.
Yeah.
So do you consider a spiritual person, or?
Oh, I'm absolutely yes.
And that's because of Godspell.
Well, I think that was one of the seeds that was planted. Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely.
What's probably the biggest, fault that you would say of organized religion these days?
The biggest fault?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, having a personal relationship with Christ, just and not what's the word? I mean, being so, well, that's not done, and this is how it is, and all our churches are locked. Mm-hmm. You go to other countries, and their churches are open because people are in there praying 24 hours a day. But our society's gotten to the point where you have to lock your churches, and I think churches are so much of a business these days. When my daughter got married, she wanted to, I'm not going to say the name of the church,
right?
But they wanted $1,500 for her to get married in the church that we belong to.
Great, wow.
Excuse me, we tithe and we give our money,
right? And still,
this is crazy. This is a business.
Well, unfortunately, yes. It's unfortunate.
Very sad.
Well, it's a big thing. Like theater is a business. Just about everything. Most people. Why do people get into medicine? Generally, because they want to help people. Not always, but a lot of times they want to help people. But what they find out, it's just a business. I've got to have all these assistants helping me and pay all this insurance, or dentist, or vet. It's the same thing. And maybe you find a way to make that work. But unfortunately, even anything organized, even churches, like you said, it's a business. It's unfortunate. There's the problem with it. That's what. It's unfortunate, and I do hear a lot of stories. I'm Catholic too, but I've had a lot of friends that have left faith for different reasons. Yeah. And it's interesting, but when I hear the complaints, sometimes they're very legitimate complaints. Right. But part of it is also it's.
But see, a Catholic church wouldn't do that. They wouldn't charge you to get married in it.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. On the other hand, back to the reasons why people leave, I think a lot of them are personal. They feel that they weren't treated as a person. Like they not enough attention. Yeah. Okay, I can understand that. But when I really think about it, even for myself, a lot of the reasons they were our parents' religion. Right. And it hasn't become your own. It has to be your own, exactly. Right? And whatever that relationship is, you're right. It has to be real to you, and whatever that seminal moment is that turns it into that. Yeah.
Which Catholic church do you go to?
I'm at St. Simon and Jude.
Oh, okay.
And the reason we're there is for us it's more traditional. That's the way we grew up.
Oh, okay, yes.
Okay. Now, when we went to college, we did all the guitar singing.
Right. But absolutely. I like the traditional now.
Yeah, but the thing is, we go to the traditional. Okay, nothing against the others, but it's kind of like why is this? Look, I've done long masses, 3.5 hours, whatever. But if it starts getting to an hour and a half on a regular mass, I'm just kind of like, what the hell is going on?
If I can learn it in an hour, I'm never.
If I get into what the heck is? You have a good preacher. I guess for some people that ends up being their. I don't say their relationship with their God, but I mean that helps their connect to their God. And if you have one that isn't able to preach and talk to you where you are, it can really hurt. It's unfortunate. I mean, I know, yes, it's really up to each individual to make that connection with their God. But it's a big component. Unfortunately, is how well do they preach, or are they speaking to you? Say, yes, I hear that, or. Oh, God, what the heck is he talking about? Or she, what the heck is she talking about? It's like, oh, God. Oh, well. Oh, Florida. So you've been Florida, you've been to Montana, I've heard Colorado, I've heard Guam, you said the Philippines, the Hawaii. When you were in Hawaii, was there anything that you really enjoyed about Hawaii?
Oh, everything.
There was nothing
that bothered you. It's 80 degrees year round.
It was when we went there. It was weird. It seemed like you were just outside. You wanted to be outside all the time
because it doesn't get horribly hot.
Even the hotel looks like it was looked like it was an outside thing.
Outside, inside.
Yeah, kind of outside, inside all the time.
Yeah. Where are you from?
I actually was born in Oklahoma.
Really?
Yeah, I was born in Oklahoma. I'm an Okie, but so I've been around at different places too. But we just went to Hawaii because somebody said, "Oh, you got to go to Hawaii."
So we get there. Beautiful.
I think I love the mornings the best.
Yes.
Because because we're on a walk, of course. It's quiet. No one is out there. And then to watch the sunrise come over the mountains or something like that. Oh,
and it smells good.
Yeah.
Just smell plumeria and all these beautiful flowers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You remember when the Occupy Wall Street movement, it hit all the states, right?
Yes, yeah.
So we would go to Hawaii, and the bus driver goes, "There's the Occupy Hawaii movement," and there's like a whopping 2 or 3 tents. That's it.
That's it. Yeah. That would be.
I was like, "That's it. That's it." Okay, it's pretty unimpressive. Oh dear.
So, did you stay in Oahu?
Yeah, I mean, we wanted to go to Kauai. Everyone says you have to go to Kauai.
I never got to go to Kauai. I went to Oahu and I went to Maui.
Right.
But that was it.
Mm-hmm. No, there's too many places to go. Not enough time. Not enough money.
Exactly.
Like Europe is the same thing too. You've been to some place. Where specifically in Europe would you like to go?
I would like to go back to London, and I'd like to see the Globe Theatre.
Really?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'd like to see a show over there.
Oh, you have to do that.
Yes.
You have to do that.
Because I was only there. I went with Dan on a trip,
yeah.
and I think we spent 18 hours there, and. Yeah. Just to get around is very complicated. And we got a taxi, and finally it took us $80 later. They took us to the Globe, and they wouldn't let me in to see it.
Oh, no.
I said, "Do you have any idea how far I've come?"
Pretty much, there are buses. Yeah, the bus and the train are the way to get around London.
Yes, it is.
It's
if you can
the
figure
first.
It out.
Yeah, I mean, and most of it is the first time take the tours, and after that, we've gotten there where we kind of know the places we want to go to. Mm-hmm. So this time we got to see the National Theatre, and there are 4
You went to
spaces.
London?
Yes.
Yeah.
There were 4 spaces in this National Theatre. They usually do, 3 shows a week, and all different shows.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they just rotate through them. It's a wonderful. But our only criticism, it's too modern. I mean, it's very stark.
Yeah.
Concrete and stuff like that. And we're like, that's it? This is the National Theatre. And they have some neat programs, like they have like reduced ticket prices for certain, for folks and stuff. But they're just very stark. But they look like they do neat stuff.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, you
so
got to go
have you been to Paris?
Yes, we've been to Paris. It's not one of our favorites, but everyone's different. But everyone's different.
Yeah.
Okay, get me wrong.
It's beautiful.
Paris is beautiful, but as you recall, there's Parisians, there's the French, and there's everyone else.
Yes.
And if you can speak French,
we got that figured out real quick.
If you can speak French, you're doing just
fine.
We have a friend who speaks very fluent French, and the best compliment she ever got was, "You're not from here." As opposed to what I got when I went to a restaurant. And my French is very bad from high school, of course, but I ordered something in French, and the waiter turned to my host and said, "I can't understand him. He speaks so badly in French." Well, I got that.
Oh, my gosh.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh. Yes, I think if I ever went back, I would try to learn something.
Right.
Just because, even the names of the streets, they're so complicated and long, and oh my gosh. But we made it around. We did really well, actually. We went to, of course, the Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
I had to go there.
Yes.
And Notre Dame. We went through the church.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Oh, you had to do the church. And
yes,
did you go to the Louvre?
No, we walked by it.
Oh, so that's all we could do too.
The line to go in was very long. Yes. It was raining.
Oh.
Yeah, and I got to sneak peek, whatever you can see in the windows. But,
right.
Someday.
As opposed to Italy. Where,
oh
my goodness,
or the Vatican. I loved it.
It's I had the best gelato right beside the Vatican.
Really?
Yeah, there was a guy who sold me a 7-scoop fruit gelato, and I hate fruit.
Really?
Best gelato ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I said I'd do it in a heartbeat. That's what I tell people. Cool. Go back there, that area. I'd love to just rent an apartment, for a couple of weeks or something like that. Just kind of soak it up. We have Filipino friends, and they always seem to run into Filipinos no matter where they go. We go to Italy, and they run.
I love Filipinos. I do. I love those
people.
They
are party people.
They're so nice.
Yes.
I don't know how you can speak like that on a whole group of people, but I can because they're in Guam, 50% Filipinos.
Yes. And did they do all the karaoke?
I don't recall that, but did they like karaoke?
I seem to remember our Filipino friends, they were big on hot pot, of course.
Yeah.
They loved karaoke. And in Southeast Asia, almost anywhere you go that's karaoke, it's Filipino.
Really?
It doesn't matter. Singapore, Hong Kong, Australia, Indonesia, the singers, karaoke. They're all Filipinos.
Wow. Do you sing?
I sing. I don't think I'm very good, but I enjoy singing. I enjoy singing. I enjoy singing, but I'm not very good. I've had like 6 years, in junior high and high school and stuff like that. So I know some of music theory. So, I play piano not very well, but but we'd love to do that kind of stuff. Anyway, yes, got to go to Italy. Yes. Go to Vatican. Actually, the movie Roman Holiday.
No, I'm going to.
You've never seen Roman Holiday? Oh my goodness!
I'm going to write it down.
Okay, Roman Holiday, the movie that Audrey Hepburn, her first film ever.
Oh, okay.
She gets an Academy Award. It's her trip. She's a princess, of course, and she takes a holiday from being a princess one day throughout Rome. And I want to duplicate that trip. All the places that she's hit,
I'm
like the
going to
Spanish
watch
Step.
that.
Watch it. You know, I'm going to go to Spanish Steps, which we've done. The wall, I think, where they put the wall of wishes. I don't think we haven't done that. There's a place where it's like you put your hand in, it's like the mouth of truth.
Yes,
the mouth of truth.
yes.
We haven't done. You know, so those kind of things you want to. It's kind of silly things when you travel. You know, it's like after you travel so much,
so
you start coming up with games, right? Like, I wonder what their chicken fried steak is like here. I wonder what their sushi is like. It's just silly games that people do. Everyone has their own game. Like, I'm going to work out here. I'm going to do yoga here, whatever. But yeah, for me, it's food. So we're gonna let's see what their meatballs are really like. You know.
So, what's your favorite movie?
I don't know. I think when I was younger, of course, it was whatever the first thing I ever saw, right?
Yeah.
Which would be The Sound of Music, and of course, that's the favorite. And then you saw South Pacific. Oh yeah, well, that's my favorite now. You know.
Yeah, I guess it depends if you're talking comedy or drama. Or
yeah, and so after a while, it's kind of as you change, you have different things that. For instance, when I had kidney stones, the movie that I like. First, you want comedy, and I watched Mr. Mall, and for me at that time in the '80s, it was funny and. It's amazing. Laughter is an incredible. I mean, it's like pain relief. I mean, I felt no pain as long as I was really truly laughing.
Yeah.
Of course, it comes back, but truly laughing, it did better than pain medicine. It was amazing. It's amazing. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I have a favorite movie now. I do. I don't go to the movies very much.
I like. What
do you watch when you go to the movies?
Well, I don't go to the movies that much either, but I like to watch old movies.
Yeah,
I guess I could watch My Cousin Vinny a million times.
Oh yes,
I don't know, that's funny to me.
Mm-hmm.
And Funny Farm.
Yes.
And let's see, Gone with the Wind.
It's classic. Yeah, how can you not like Gone with the Wind? You have a favorite actress? Would that be from the old movies, or it depends, genre?
Yeah, I'm blank right now as far as an actress.
I mean, like, are you a Meryl Streep fan, or are you, like Ryan fan, or
Meryl Streep, absolutely.
Glenn Close, or
Glenn Close, yes. You named two that amazing actresses.
I mean, or there's like Cate Blanchett. I mean, it's just like no matter what she does, she's completely different. She's like a chameleon.
Yeah,
just amazing.
Boy, I'm blank. I mean, I'm glad you said those names because, I really enjoy. I'm just so blank right now. From the Titanic.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes.
I like watching her for some reason. What is her name?
Kate Winslet.
Kate, thank you.
That's right. Thank you. I'm trying to remember Kate Winslet. Like, yeah. No, but she hasn't done much lately that I know.
She has not done much lately. But in the older days, I liked watching Meg Ryan.
Yes,
she's cute.
What's the thing is, I like watching her too for different reasons. But
and for me, that would be Andy Garcia.
Oh yeah, that'd be Andy Garcia. Yeah, that's what his guilty pleasure, right? When a man
loves a woman,
that's right, guilty pleasure, right? Oh my goodness. But before people get facelifts, I was like, why do you guys do this? Like Jack Lemmon, right?
Oh,
Jack, you're like, I love Jack Lemmon, and then he got a facelift. I was like,
the country singer.
Oh yeah!
Oh my gosh, I don't even recognize him. Kenny Rogers.
He got a facelift.
He did something that he shouldn't
have done.
And
it's like, who the heck is this? I was like, oh man, don't do this to yourself.
Yeah, look up Kenny Rogers and it'll show you.
I used to love Kenny Rogers in the 70s and 80s and stuff. Yes. And oh my goodness, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's different actors. When you watch a movie, do you just watch it for fun, or are you actually looking at technique and it's like, ooh, I could use that in one of my shows?
I'm always looking at the special effects and the lighting and
says, I want to use that sometime. I remember that when I write the story.
Yes, no kidding.
So are you working on any stories right now?
Well, I'm working on those monologues and puppet shows, actually.
Why puppetry?
I love puppetry.
Really? Is there something you can do as a puppet that you can't as a live performer?
I don't know, but I love to. I had a 4-week project with my kids where they actually made the puppets, wrote the scripts, and put on the shows.
Yes.
And they had a blast. At first, they thought like, "Oh, no, we're not."
Right. This is kid stuff, right?
But these were really good puppets.
Yes.
I mean, it took them an entire week to do them because they had to. They were very extravagant puppets. And they were so proud of them when they were finished. We had big birds and
wow.
And they would take like like VeggieTales and make these exotic VeggieTale puppets and then write their own script with it.
Wow.
And I had someone who made me a really nice puppet stage. And they got to go behind it. They got to pick out the music and the sound effects and do all of that. And they just had a blast. And I think they learned a lot from it. And you learn to appreciate that art.
Absolutely.
You know, Sherry Lewis. That's a lost art, I think.
I know.
Or somewhat. I mean, I guess they've kind of brought it back, and some of the comedians have brought it back.
Right.
Jeff Dunham and, you know, people like that. And ventriloquism, that's pretty fascinating. But, so anyway, I've written a lot of puppet plays, too.
That's neat.
Yeah.
Any particular topics, or?
I've taken a lot of fairy tales and twisted them around and made them really funny. Kind of fascinated with like the Three Little Pigs for some reason.
Well, you know, Ted, there are probably a lot of people that haven't heard the story, and it probably deserves being twisted
and so
around.
I've done some really interesting monologues and puppet shows with
the Three Little Pigs. And you know, maybe that's why I enjoyed Hoodwinked so much. You see, that's really Little Red Riding Hood with the twist. The first one's better than the second. We just saw the second one. That's I don't want to see that, but the first one was not. You know, for all these different points of view.
Yes, and I love to watch Disney movies or cartoons or any of that because I think they're so witty.
Oh yes,
some of them are so, and they're very, you know, kind of a higher level thinking.
Well, yeah, right. You can enjoy it on different levels, right? There's the physical comedy, and then there's this, you know, you gotta have some reference.
Yes, but just the animation and how beautiful it is too. Like the marble floors in Aladdin. Yeah, you know, I was like, gosh, that's amazing.
Have you been to the Walt Disney World where they've done the animation studio?
I have. I've been to both Walt Disney World and Disneyland.
Right.
Yeah.
Have you done any animation?
No,
yourself?
I haven't.
There is when you go to Epcot. There's actually a course where let's say a course. Part of the tour, the 1 hour tour, is actually you do some animation.
Really?
They make you draw one of the characters or something like that. So you should do that.
That's cool.
It's pretty neat.
I'll have to do that sometime.
We used to go to really often, and so we'd get bored with the typical stuff, so we would look for different things to do. Let's do parasailing. Oh, look, you can be behind the stage tours. You know, you go to backstage tours and do that. But that's not really a backstage tour. But yeah, it was pretty cool that you got to draw something. Carol really got into it. You know, time's up, and she's still drawing. He's like, no, you have to get out of here, ma'am. Come on. She's still drawing.
That's neat.
This is good. Oh, my. Any grandkids yet?
Not yet. Angie just got married, so we'll see. But I'm looking forward to that time.
You look forward to spoiling the grandkids.
Oh, I do. Absolutely. Very much. And then I have an older daughter, Danielle. She's not married yet, but you know, they're at that age where it'll probably happen in the next 4 or 5 years. So. Sure. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, we've enjoyed having you as director of Arsenic on Lace because that's one of those things, you know, that we've always wanted to do probably for some years now. What is it about Arsenic on Lace that you like?
Well, I don't direct comedies, so this was really new for me.
Really? You don't really do drama?
I've only done drama. Well, except for like Steel Magnolias, I've done that. Right. But it's that's kind of both. Drama.
That's drama and comedy. Dramedy, yeah.
So I learned a lot, and I this is a funny show.
Oh yeah.
My brother was in it in high school, and I remember seeing it then, going, "This is really a funny show." And so when Susan asked me to do it, I thought, okay, I can probably handle that. Yeah. So I've enjoyed it a lot. But I like just the kookiness of it and just the concept of, I mean, if I were to do a comedy, a dark comedy would be what I do.
You mean if you were writing it,
right. Yes.
Something.
So, yeah. And just, I guess, the stage design of it and all that, I really got into that. That was fun.
Oh, it's a beautiful set. Absolutely. If they haven't seen it, people need to see it. In fact, I think we've got investors coming in, and so we're gonna dress up the set so they can be like, oh yeah, you guys do some nice work here. Got you fooled.
Yeah, really. Bells and whistles. It's all magic.
It all works. All right. Well, I know we got to get ready for a show, but we'll ask you the question we've been asking everyone.
Okay.
If heaven exists, what do you want God to say when you get to the pearly gates?
Good job, faithful servant.
Do you really want to do a drama? We got some drama you could do up there if you want.
Really. I would hope that he would say, your mansion's right over here. It's gold and burgundy.
There's a little gelato waiting for you over there if you
with
like.
marble floors.
Oh, the marble that you saw. Oh, yeah, it's just like that. Perfect.
We know exactly what you wanted, Brenda. Plenty of bling.
Well, Brenda, thanks so much for being with us.
Thank you.